Hello guys, Nico here. I received an email a couple of days back by a guy who asked me, why do we still talk about women as MGTOW? If we really don't give a fuck, then why does the topic come up all the time? I thought I would address this and elaborate a bit more as to the I don't give a fuck attitude of most men within this community and the truth behind it, along with the inevitable conclusion that most of us still give a fuck. So let's address the first part of the video. Why do we still talk about women? Instinctually, the answer to that is very simple. We talk about women so as to inform men about female nature and about their instinctual operating modes that govern most of their behaviors. There, question answered. Now, that question is not as simple to answer as that, but that is the short answer to a more long-winded question. And the question would be, there are so many other things that a man going his own way has to deal with every day, or understand, that female nature should not really be a part of the conversation. I would agree with the notion that we have so many more important things to do and understand that simply dealing with female nature is counterproductive almost. But as far as I see the content in the community, I have to see it from the point of view of the man that first enters this community. The community offers to people free of charge information, much of it well researched, that explains to them male and female nature. It is a testament to what men, united under a common idea, can do on their own free time. One of the most important and informative aspects of this community to every man entering it earlier on are the videos regarding female nature. These videos serve to inform men about hypergamy, about the gender war that's being waged on men, gynocentrism as it's being seen on a society scale, and following that, it helps them to see their involvement in this system of exploitation of men in general. But in order for a man to understand this system, I find that understanding female nature should come first. I actually think that is that important that when I made the video with the 5 tenets of MGTOW, I put it in there above understanding your nature as a man. So the question is, what were you guys looking for when you came in this community? Some of the guys were hurt because their relationships broke down and wanted answers to their questions. Other men had their marriages ruined and their children taken away from them, and they wanted answers as to what it was that drove their women to do that. Some others had observations or doubts if you like, but could simply not connect them about the current system of gender relations. I have found when I spoke to some of the new guys that came in, that female nature and understanding women and their behavior seemed to be one of the most fundamental things that drove them inside this community of ideas. Therefore, female nature, for its most part, is very important to understand if we are to liberate ourselves first from their spell, because it is a spell of sorts, so that we can drop the act and then look at ourselves. You can't understand men and yourself without first understanding how women operate and how you respond to their behaviors as the average male. That is the gateway to understanding yourself, because all of us, at some point, seem to want to understand women better. And this serves to provide answers. It shows you female behavior and sheds a light to aspects of your behavior that did not help in your previous relationships, but also takes away some of the blame that you were feeling in those relationships. A side effect of that is that people tend to throw the blame only to women, and that leads to an inevitable prison of hate that holds them captive. Now, whether all of us get it or not, that is unimportant. At least the information is there for people to access. It should be an essential part of the education of every man and boy, and what people do with the information and how they react to it can be seen in the different factions that appear in the community all the time. Now let's move to the I don't give a fuck part of the video. Theoretically speaking, a MGTOW is a man who doesn't give a fuck about what men think and what women think alike. And we do come under attack from other MGTOW, other women and other men about our opinions, despite the fact that some of them are so well based on science you need equally good research in order to destroy that. But we still do get attacked from time to time. And it's fine to say that we don't give a fuck what people think, but it is a defense mechanism of sorts. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be putting these videos up there. We want to help. We still give a fuck that you guys listen to the message. But the reality is, and it's a reality faced by every channel that puts their ideas in this space, is that most people will not get you and will not see eye to eye with you. Not everyone can be helped. Not everyone can understand you. And what people choose to do is, of course, their choice. We give enough of a fuck to care to put this content up there. But what you guys do with this content, well, it's up to you. I'll give a personal example of some of the motivations on one of the series on the channel. The Nico's Guide to Dating, for example, is a series that people do not generally like as much as I want them to like it. I'm constantly criticized about it, and Messenger thinks I'm a PUA of sorts or whatever since I started putting that series up, even though I did give him a warning about it. The truth is, the more it pisses people off, the more I want to be producing videos for that series and have it sitting there on the channel. It's a guide to dating for MGTOW that still want to date. There is information out there for other men that they need to access other spaces to find, and I want mine to be simply sitting there, and I will continue to produce it, even if it makes people angry all the fucking time. Not because it's a MGTOW series, I don't believe it's a MGTOW series, but I believe people still want to use it and some people still use it. I want to produce that series even if it makes me look like a lunatic in your eyes. Again, I give enough of a fuck to produce content. What occurs following that, it's up to the individual. No one forces anyone to listen or take offense. Those are simply your decisions. You're no better or worse than men who choose to date or live a solitary life. And I want my content to be a testament on how men can choose to live their lives following the red pill. I don't care to understand it all, but I accept it nonetheless. Next point, showing faces. Some of the MGTOW are accused of being cowards and not showing their faces, and some of them are being accused by other MGTOW as well. Well, I have to admit that personally I'm a pussy, because when I show my face, this will not replace my earnings that I have in my regular job, so why risk it? Why risk getting fired because of a channel? Does that mean I don't believe in it? It means simply that I'm not willing to starve because of this channel or because of you guys. Because people will talk big or feel brave when they have the ability to do so. I don't. It's as simple as that. It's about self-preservation. Now, it makes issues such as relatedness with you guys slightly more difficult, and I understand that. How can you believe any of my words if you don't know who I am? Well, I'm sorry. That's really your problem and not mine. The reality is that most of us do give a fuck to inform people. It's almost a duty of sorts, but we're not sacrificial lamb at your altar. We do not believe in symbols of men, we believe in the ideas behind those men. Ideas are stronger than faces and people that can disappoint from time to time. The ideas don't need a face, they don't need a caring father in order to guide those people that get in touch with those ideas. They're there simply to inform your decisions. They're not even there to guide you, to be fair. The extent of MGTOW giving a fuck stops when it comes to you making your own decisions, agreeing or understanding what we are saying, and how you want to live your lives. A community might be too strong of a word to assign to MGTOW. And I still hope within this space there are still men who get helped and men who help other men, but realistically speaking, I can't help you directly and you need to help yourselves with that. That's all I had to say on this issue. Thank you very much for listening and take care.